The world today is not the same as how it was years ago. Women can now vote, go to work, and has the same position as men in everyday life. This is all because of gender equality. What is gender equality? Gender equality is the state in which access to rights or opportunities is unaffected by gender. Gender equality is important because it is not just about fairness. It is the foundation for a thriving society. But how important it is to people all around the world? Do gender inequalities still exist? To answer this, we need to look into the situation in every corner of the world, starting with India. In India, gender inequalities exist in many forms: economic, social, and political.
Dari segi ekonomi, wanita nih selalunya dia kurang pendapatan dengan berbanding dengan lelaki walaupun orang satu kerja yang sama kerja. Pas itu wanita dalam banyak menghadapi diskriminasi dalam tempat kerja dalam tempat kerja sebab dorang ada halangan dalam merebut posisi kepemimpinan itu. Lepas itu terdapat juga dalam masalah keganasan, yaitu masih berleluasa di seluruh negara India.
While there have been some advancements, such as more women in education, the gap is still wide. In urban areas, there has been some progress, particularly in terms of women entering the workforce or holding positions of influence.
Tapi di daerah kampung, peranan gender tradisional masih mendominasi dan peluang kepada perempuan itu masih sangat terbatas. Jadi dari segi pendidikan jurang ini masih sangat kecil, tapi dalam hal lain jurang perbedaan itu sangat besar sebenarnya.
What are the causes for this problem to occur in India? The people of India has existed for centuries. The culture, the religion, and social norms has been deeply embedded in each person. Patriarchal values have been dominated Indian society for centuries, and these beliefs are often passed down through generations.
Selain itu, faktor lain seperti pernikahan muda, akses kesehatan dan pendidikan yang tidak baik itu memperburuk keadaan. Lepas itu, dorang punya undang-undang pun dorang sepatutnya melindungi perempuan, tapi seringkali tidak digunakan untuk melindungi perempuan dan dorang pun tidak dapat keadilan.
China is one of the world's giants, but they also face gender inequalities problem. Chinese women often face discrimination in the workplace.
According to a Catalyst report from 2020, 19% of civil service job postings noted a preference for male candidates, while other listings specified that female candidates should already have children. In China, Chinese women are always facing in this problem, which is responsibilities between women and men. One significant factor contributing to this challenge is the unequal distribution of domestic responsibilities between women and men, compounded by the limited availability of childcare service. Similar to many other countries worldwide, Chinese women bear the primary burden of unpaid care work. Surveys indicate that, on average, Chinese women spend approximately 3 hours and 57 minutes on unpaid care work daily, while men spend around 1 hour and 34 minutes.
Also in China, the cultural assumption that they have are men are smarter, men are better at management, and men are just better leaders. Even the wage gap in China is improving.
According to the Catalyst report, women in China earn 84% of what men earned for similar work in 2019, which was an improvement from 2016 when women earned only 77% of men's wages. For issue about gender stereotypes in China, the occupations of men and women differ greatly, with men having a wide range of occupation, while women focus mainly on teachers, nurse, and waitress.
Although China continues to face issues with gender inequality, but there is also gender equality in China. In Philippines, gender is constructed by how men and women should behave, communicate, and express themselves. Due to Christianity, they have a conservative mindset that making it difficult for the Filipinos to adapt to changes.
However, the younger generation, such as Gen Z and millennials, tend to adapt to the new diversity in general, particularly gender diversity. They have adapted to the norms such as straight male wear makeup and dress in feminine attire for fashion. This proves that the generation have become more self-aware about one aspect of their surrounding. Gender equality in Philippines has made a significant progress over the years, but there are still challenges remain in certain areas of the Philippines. Philippines has made progress toward gender equality, where they rank among the most gender equal countries in Asia and around the world, but there is still room for improvement. They placed 70 out of 139 countries in the 2024 SDG Gender Index as one of the most gender equal nations in Asia. In addition, Philippines has begun to emphasize on promoting women empowerment over the years, especially their participation in the politic, academic, and professional excellence and legislation. The gender wage gap in the Philippines is a persistent issue, where women earning is less than men. Women are about 78% of what men earn. In rural area, the gap is even wider, with women earning about 43% of men earning. This clearly indicates the unequal value society places on the labor of women compared to men.
Philippines still believe in gender stereotypes. There, women are still bearing the brunt of unpaid care work, resulting many of them working full-time and having a second shift at home, tending to back-breaking household chores and caring for their family members. Meanwhile, men are expected to be the primary breadwinners of household.
Nevertheless, a lot of potential for positive changes happen among urban millennials due to the high rate of women employed in the BPOs, which is a promising area to begin shifting gender norms. The first ongoing challenges is economic disparities, where women still face significant wage gap compared to men. The second one is violence and discrimination. Gender-based violence remains a major issue, where many women are experiencing domestic violence, such as trafficking and harassment. The third ongoing challenges is cultural and social norms. Traditional gender role continues to influence expectations, especially in rural and conservative community.
Norway is often perceived as a leading country when it comes to gender equality. However, gender inequality still exists. Even though Norway is very progressive, the gender pay gap still prevails.
In Norway, women take an average 13% less in earnings than men. First, women are overrepresented in public sector jobs, which tend to be lowly paid, such as health and education. On the other hand, men are always on the higher paying fields like finance and technologies. It is not only unequal pay for equal work, rather, it is about the kind of job men and women take. Segmentations within the labor market is one of the reasons this gap continues to be in evidence. What research suggests is that almost 35 until 40% of the pay gaps emanates from unequal pay between men and women who do the same job. But the lion's share, 60 until 65%, depends on gender segregations in the labor market. Women are most likely to be found in low-paying jobs, while men are concentrated in high-paying fields. That's why the pay gap exists, even in such a country as Norway, which has done so much for gender equality.
Another thing that affects so many women in Norway, but indeed worldwide, is violence based on gender.
Unfortunately, gender-based violence is still a big problem within Norway. Of course, the country is doing much in this area, but the figures are still alarming. According to a 2014 studies by the Norwegian Center for Violence and Traumatic Stress Study, nearly 1 in 10 women has been raped at least once in her lifetime, and nearly half of those women were assaulted before the age of 18. These figures are alarming. It goes to show that despite all the effort being made in this country, more needs to be done in protecting women and averting violence.
So, There you go. It is clear that gender inequality still exists. It remains a significant global problem that impacts all from individuals, families, communities, and societies. While there have been progress in many areas to combat this, more is still needed to fully eliminate gender inequality. Through education, fair policies, and collective action, we can create a world where everyone thrives regardless of gender, as achieving equality is essential for justice and sustainable development.